Hey everyone, welcome back to another daily recap. Just got home from school, and then after this, I have to go write a 6-page paper. I'm already 2 pages done, so let's go. Um, but I ended the day about negative to our net after a lot of locates I spent. Um, and I'm going to explain exactly why I'm red today, and I'm going to explain how it's not a problem because I need to keep telling myself that it's not a problem. I'm not going to be green every day, of course not. And then days like today, I managed my risk pretty well. There are a couple squeezers, so let me dive into it. First of all, yeah, what? uh, I've never traded this much before. Now, one reason is because there is more opportunity, but two, a lot of these are small trades with small size, just starters and cuts. So this is actually paper trade, paper long. This is a real account long. And then sub W was a small cut pre-market. I should not have cut it. That was emotional. It proceeded to fade after my cut, but it probably would have stopped out anyways because the energy stocks bounced today. And I'm going to explain why that kind of messed me up. SBFM, that was a real trade. And 9, that was a real trade. Our real trade. ENSV, real trade. DRCT, real trade. CANO, this was a system trade. ASTS, this was, it was a fine trade. It was just a small cut. And then ARAB, which we'll start with. This was a nice trade. You know, I didn't post this one on Twitter. Maybe I'll probably just post all these after. But this, guys, I got 16 shares. I got 16 shares filled on this thing, and that's because of SSR. So I had my this was a really good resistance area up here, and so once I saw the tape confirm, I slammed in. But then I was like, oh, SSR is on, and I had located 500 shares for this one, and I could not get my size on. So I paid like $4 in locates, and I made like $2 on this trade or something. But chart wise, it's beautiful. I took nice covers, and something I am realizing that is good is, you know, maybe this isn't a fair market. Okay, things are strong. Failed breakouts are working less. Although they are still they do still opportunity they still offer opportunity. Can't find my words, but I think things are soaking and going higher, and I'll show you guys later an example. But this one, I got a great cover, and then pretty much perfect entry. Just didn't get the size, so it is what it is. Literally like 0.00 like 5R or something like that. It is what it is. ASTS, I'm super annoyed. So this was a pump pre-market, so that's why I wanted to attack this. I was looking for my system trade here, but it never got my entry criteria. Never saw my entry signal. And then, like most of the time, these things fail, and when they offer a bounce, like it's a good opportunity to short. So I shorted. It should have failed, but it soaked, and so I just got out. And that was a great call. To be honest, I need to be going long on my cuts because I have fairly good reads. And I actually went long on this. I'll show you. So this one was the paper. I don't know. I saw the tape. It was super heavy. It didn't look like it was going to go. And I expected a trap, more of a trap. This wasn't even a trap. It was still on trend. So I just got out. Now this was the real trade. Now my thesis was exactly perfect. Exactly what I was thinking. So I drew this line. Okay. Now it's very, very symmetric. So we have the trend line. You know, you could draw a couple trend lines. It broke all the trend lines. Okay. Now I was expecting this to trap. Okay, I was expecting this to break a key support such as 9 and then soak and come back. Now I thought it was going to be here. I thought they were going to soak this and bring it right back up, but they had another leg down, and I literally bottom ticked it. It sucks. I just didn't want like a super wide risk because of my risk rewards off. Hindsight, I should have had a risk like under 850, but that would have been pretty far from VWAP at that point. But then someone suggested I turn on the 1 minute 200, and they said that they soak it all the time. So this is what I'm gonna start like watching. I'm gonna watch for the 200, and I should have had like I don't know. Originally I did have a lower stop, but then I was like, you know what, this is just gonna fail. Like I wasn't watching it closely, and like for what it's worth, I was in class, so I couldn't really focus on the tape. I couldn't see if there was soaking, so I was just like, okay, let me tighten my stop really tight, and I literally just got cut. And then it worked exactly how I wanted it. Like, look at these entries. I could have got the exit. My exit targets was over high day, so I would have sold into here. To be honest, I probably would have sold all. But that's a note in itself to tell me that in this market, I should hold for another leg after that. Maybe cover or sell 75% and then hold the rest. But man, this would have been a sick trade. I had a good thesis on it. I just didn't execute well. It really sucks, but I'm gonna learn from it. I don't know. It's hard to learn from this because like I need to have this stops tight. I guess something that I should have done was just re-enter somewhere, but again, I wasn't watching this closely because I was in class, so it's just unfortunate. Cano, I'm not going to show that trade because that was a system trade. It's a 1R cut, and I followed my system perfectly, so it is what it is. DRCT, this was also a good trade, I think, and I kind of like how I managed it. So we had, tank off the open. Now, the first opening candle, I wanted to draw the line there for high day. Now we tested it. We tested high day and VWAP and the 200, apparently. I didn't have this up at the time, but looks like it did. Now I got starters into here, risking pretty wide, about 245. So my starters there. And then once we kind of confirmed here and slammed down, I shorted this bounce because this bounce looked pretty weak. So I slammed in full size there with a super tight risk right over here at this line. Now, at this point, I left for school, set the range order, and waited. Now, when I got to school, I noticed, oh man, they soaked this. They're holding it. They're probably going to run it over high day. You can see the perfect, triangle. The riggers do this stuff all the time. It basically tells me they're going to probably try to run it. Now, if anyone experienced, let me know down in the comments. How do you determine a distribution, I guess? Is that what it's called? Like a floor distribution, something? Like sometimes these wash, but I notice a lot of time they do trap. So I don't know how to separate the two. That's a question I'm gonna go ask some people, some traders, because that would be good to know so I don't make a mistake in the future. But this one I played well. I noticed it, so I set a I trimmed. So I took off about, I think it was 40% of my position here near break even. Now this was because I had the tight stop here, but I knew the high day clear out was likely coming. So I wanted to not stop out for a 1R loss at the high day clear out and then miss and then top tick. So instead I cut off break even and then I widened my stop. Now as you can see, I top ticked. Now the note is, well, first of all, it is what it is. It broke pretty large. Most of the time, or a lot of the time, it would have failed this candle or this candle, but it kept going. So it's slightly unfortunate, but also I probably should have my stop. If it's this close, I should probably have my stop over a $50 mark. So I should have done 255 stop, but you can see how wide that is. That's very wide. The point of it, if I do a wide stop, is just to avoid taking a loss and hoping that I can slam bigger back in and then fade it down. Now this one, I would have got stopped out for sure. I would not have gotten covers here. I would have went for the fade down. This one trapped big, as you can see. So this was a pretty big move. I really want to get good at longing these because I have a good eye for sensing when they're probably soaking and they're probably gonna run it up. and I always seem to know like when a high day clear out has potential to get over high day. And so I want to take advantage of that on the long side. So I'm thinking, ASTS I tried today, and my thesis was perfect. It was perfect, but the execution was wrong. So I just need to keep doing that. I need to keep making the mistakes. I need to keep improving from it. Now, this was the trade of the day because I got close to full size. Well, no, it wasn't close to full size. So I got about $20 risk here, and 1 hour for me is 37. So my stop was 390. So let's go to 60-minute. My thesis was macro clear out, and we actually, we didn't clear out much, but we just rejected it. I had to stop at 390. It might have been a little tight. The 390 stop might have been a little tight, but as you can see, yeah, I think 390 might have been a little tight. But I got half size here, $20 risk. To be honest, I was at school. I couldn't do the calculation. I didn't have my hotkeys. So I was like, okay, let me just go in 50 shares. So I just slammed in 50 shares at the line. Once I saw kind of rejection, saw red on the tape, I saw stalling. So I took my starter, placed my stop, and then had to run into class. And so I set my range orders. And yeah, good cut. I mean, the covers are all right because this also could have just soaked here at this level right here. It could have soaked and then ran higher, or who knows. If I was able to manage this position, I would say in the future I should cover like half or 3/4 and then let the rest ride. And then if it does trap and go higher, that's another opportunity up here. So that's how I should play it if I'm able to watch the screen, but again, at school. Now 9 was the energy play of the day. Pre-market, I got a starter because we, are heavily under red green. We're weak. All right. So I got the starter, and I was like, probably too early. I should just be patient. I should get rid of the FOMO. So I cut, and then I realized here, like, okay, it's looking pretty weak. I need to go in. So I went in with a super wide stop. So my stop was here. And then I had a nice fade. Wow, that is a very wide stop. So then it had a nice fade into the open, but then we bounced to VWAP. So I was watching it here and then using IMPP as the gauge. Now IMPP kind of confirmed. Well, no, it did confirm. Went near low. Actually, let me just pull it up. IMPP. So yeah, as you can see right here on the far right of the screen, it slammed down, almost it was headed towards low day halfway there. So I thought it was confirmed. So I slammed in, and then SSR was annoying. So I tried getting in up here, but I couldn't fill, and so I got in here. Again, sizing accordingly, and then got in more size here. But then I noticed, IMPP trapped. So I trimmed off about 25% of my position, and then IMPP was stalling. I was like, oh, this is a high day clear out. So I re-added that size up here, and then, I think I realized that, you know what? I don't remember. I don't know what this cut is. I think it's also 25%. I think it was because I decided I wanted the wider stop. So I was like, okay, let me just have a wider stop on this, just in case this clears out. And then I had to leave for school, and I was like, okay, that was a pretty good confirmation right there. IMPP looks like it's about to fail. Actually, let me get this on screen. Sorry. IMPP looks like it's about to fail. So I just added the full size with the tight stop, which is fine, whatever. Okay, I did that so I could get a good risk reward. Now I stopped out. I opened my computer. I was like, oh, okay, I got stopped out. All the energy plays bounced, and then Hussa, pretty huge run. Well, I don't know if I would call it a run because it's kind of the grand scheme of thing. It was a bounce, but yeah, that happened. So I mean, energy plays bounced. I was also in ENSV. Now, hindsight, well, yeah, I should have covered some here at the $3 whole mark. But this was super small starter size, and I was going for the all-day fade on this. So, because, this is day 2 after the big tank, so I was just expecting further continuation. Like that happens all the time. And then we kind of had a huge bounce to VWAP. I like the confirmation. Again, this is when IMPP kind of confirmed for me. And then 9 also confirmed. So I was like, okay, let me add to my ENSV. I didn't risk 1R. I risked starter size 0.3R here. And then, again, got to school, stopped out. Let's see. SBFM. I traded a lot today. I don't think it's a huge problem because these setups were all right. And I managed my risk well in the hour trade. That was a game changer. I was down like low 3 figs, and then got my loss like all the way down into the mid teens, or like whatever, mid hundred I guess. But anyways, so I got my loss down a lot just from the last trade. SBFM. This I totally played it wrong. I played it so wrong. I thought this was gonna do what I always forget the DRCT. I thought this was gonna do what DRCT did, because I got a great entry. Now I could see the weakness here. You can see the volume going higher. So we get over VWAP. We're pushing. Huge candle, and then kind of just you could see the exhaustion. So I got full size here. Full size with a tight stop. So I was in for amazing risk reward. All right, I even have the calculator right on my screen. Let's pull it up. Let me do it on the other screen. I mean, this is not a good habit to see like, oh, how much could I have gotten if I had just stayed in. But I want to know. Let's see. I would have so basically, let me explain this first. So I got a great entry. Okay, it was going as planned. My covers were down here near low of day, and then one like a little bit lower at 3. So these were my covers. But then we started soaking. We started trapping. So I was like, oh, like they're gonna go for high day again. And then they use these big tanks to capture more shorts. So after it tanked, I was like, okay, I should just get out here. So I got out. It was I think it was like 0.7R positive, so it was all right. And then I set down here once we broke VWAP, and I was like, okay, this is good. I set my stop to break even, so this was my stop. Now, what I failed to realize is that, well, first of all, hang on, I might be fine here. Yeah, so I thought maybe this was a backside clear out. But now looking at it, the big volume wasn't there. It was here. So this was the backside clear out. But I probably should have I don't usually cover before my price target, and I don't usually cover too far before my stop. So I should have just stayed for break even. You know what? It is what it is, but it continued down. Would have covered probably near like 15. That's usually when I like to cover. So probably would have got like 4 exit. Let's see, it would have been like 2R. So I mean 2R full size, like that's pretty good. And I even think it would have been a lot more than that. I think my calculator is wrong. But yeah, anyways, it would have been a good trade. It would have made me green on the day. But yeah, that sucks. It sucks. I should just stick to the original plan probably. But also, this could have squeezed, and I would have been like, oh yeah, good read, good job. So, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Sun W. This was similar to 9. Got starters once it broke red to green. But I don't know. I was in a lot of positions at this point, and I was like, because I was also trading my system trade. So I just cut this. I thought it was going to rip on me. I don't know why. I always think of the worst. My stop was starter sized, and my stop was, I think it was like 4 or something. So that was my stop. Huge tank. Would have been great. I probably would not have covered because, again, I was probably going for the same thesis on this, and possibly would have even added on this push back to red grain. But yeah, I mean, It's hard. Today's hard because things were kind of different than normal. I feel like after this big sector run, I feel like things are a bit stronger, so things are a bit different. So I'm gonna have to change my discretionary trading a little bit. I'm still praying for more pre-market gappers. Today we got one, but it didn't work out. So it is what it is. So I'm just waiting for more to pop up. In the other markets, I used to get like 2 or 3 a day, and that makes my system very profitable. But when we only get like one every other day, it's a slow grind up. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you have any comments down below. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter. Links in the description right there, because I post my trades, I post my thoughts, and just my overall journey. So if you like my journey, you can follow more behind the scenes on there. And also let me know if there are any future content that you would like to see on this channel. And wow, this video is at 20 minutes. I'm tired. I've got to go do my 6-page essay right now. And then after that, I think I need a back test and then like review what's going on in this market, try to get a grasp for the sentiment, because today probably showed a bit of the sentiment, what it's going to be like the next week or two. I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to go. Hope you all killed it today and kill it the rest of the week. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy the journey. That's something I'm really trying to do every day, trying to enjoy the process as much as it hurts every day not being profitable, even though this month is profitable so far. Knock on wood, knock, knock. But yeah, enough talking. Peace, everyone. Have a good day.